Part 82. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 811. Chapter 811, Let Him Sleep. The Mo family clearly felt that the atmosphere around the indifferent Yezikin seemed to have dropped to sub-zero temperatures. Logically speaking, Yewei had just come back, and Yezikin should be worried, but the two of them didn't say a few words from beginning to end. Twins, is the second sister-in-law going to fall out of favor? The twins don't understand, but they think it's not a good thing. The twins complained a few words among their good friends, and Situ Xiao took them to heart. Situ Xiao dressed up and wandered around Mo's house. If she found Yezikin, she would not have a chance to speak. She would be ridiculed by Yezikin, who spoke in a very humiliating way. Situ Xiao scolded Yezikin, and the next day he brought a little girl to his door, whom he called his new boyfriend. The only boyfriend I saw at night was Situ Xiao, and he even looked at Situ Xiao and I felt much more pleasing to the eye. The love rival finally gave up. This realization made Yewei very happy, and she understood clearly. What did Situ Xiao say? She is so pampered by her family that she feels that whatever she likes belongs to her, and if it is not hers, she will it away and make it hers. Perhaps Yezikin was too exceptional. After making Miss Situ lose face, she was very embarrassed, so she looked for another target and said, I don't just care about you. But it's better for Situ Xiao to do this. Yewei felt much more comfortable. Of course, she was also upset because Yezikin still didn't pay much attention to her. This matter can't be rushed at once. Yezikin is always angry. Angry people need to be coaxed, and Yewei plans to find a way to coax them. Gongqin Li, who had been missing for a long time, finally came in handy. Bah! It's not like they've lost contact. The two of them have a good relationship and send messages almost every day. But Yewei hasn't asked Gongqin Li for help in emotional matters for a long time, because in Yewei's view, Gongqin Li is not very reliable. After all, she can't even handle her own feelings. But when you are holding something back and can't talk to your boyfriend, you will definitely want to talk to your best friend. Yewei hid his revenge on Li Mo'er and told Gongqin Li roughly about his personal danger, hoping to brainstorm ideas. Gongqin Li, in the name of having high emotional intelligence, began to reason with her. This is your fault. You clearly know that Brother Chen loves you so much, and is reluctant to let you get hurt, yet you have to fall into a trap because of others. If it were me, I would be angry too. Gongqin Li said that she also wanted to be angry. Yewei asked her smartly, you are going to be a policeman in the future. If the person you want to save falls into the hands of gangsters, will you just run away with your own life in mind? When Yewei asked this question, Gongqin Li felt that what she said made sense. Yi, you are right, you can't help yourself in that situation. Brother Chen is the one who got into trouble. But I'm not here to ask you to analyze the situation. I know why he is angry, but I don't know how to coax him. Ah, let him sleep. What? What did I just say? Repeated it embarrassedly. You said, you slept with him. No, 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 you misunderstood. I was talking to the cook in the kitchen. I asked her to chop the skinny ones into pieces. It was Sui, not Shui, Gongqin Li emphasized again. Oh, Yewei expressed understanding, but was still confused. What should I do? Let him sleep. I'm serious, let him sleep. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 812. Chapter 812. I'm lucky, Grandma. She wanted to sleep with Yezikin, but he was not tempted. Thinking about Gongqin Li's idea, Yewei silently made a cross in his heart. She went to accompany old MRSMO to relieve her boredom. Old MRSMO liked her massage skills, and she couldn't help but mention the quarrel between her and Yezikin. What's going on between you and Chenna recently? Ye Wei shrugged his nose, and without deliberately concealing it, he told old Mrsmo directly, last time I helped Situ Yan find someone, he found out about it, and he blamed me for putting myself in danger. Old Mrsmo laughed loudly after hearing this, but she laughed at a normal volume. Old Mrsmo raised her hand and patted the back of Ye Wei's hand, saying, Chenner is nervous about you. I know, but he refuses to pay attention to me. Men also need to be coaxed. I also coaxed him, but I think he is determined to make me remember this time. Old Mrsmo found it very interesting to hear Ye Wei's kind-hearted answer. You're not sad. There's nothing to be sad about, because I understand his heart. She thought she knew the real reason why Yezikin was angry and ignored her. Old Mrsmo glanced at her a few times, nodded with satisfaction and said, You are very happy. I'm very lucky, Grandma. Ye Wei answered her. Old Mrsmo told her, in 10 days, Chenner's treatment will be completed. That's great. Finally, there is some happy news. The only unabashed joy in the night made old Mrsmo sigh. Aware of this, Ye Wei decisively shut her mouth. Then I heard the old man say, I know you don't like the Mo family. It's already rare for me to induce Chenner to go back to the Mo family. We like the Mo family very much, Grandma. Ye Wei said something against his will in order to make the old man feel better. But Mrsmo has also lived for most of her life, how could she not even see the little thoughts of young people? You don't have to say these words deliberately. I know it. To be honest, my Mo family suddenly has an excellent grandson and a more excellent granddaughter-in-law. I am already very satisfied. Hearing these words from Mrsmo, Ye Wei knew that there was no need to say more. She listened quietly to what old Mrsmo said for a long time, and finally faced her sincerely and said, Thank you. We will come back to see you often in the future, Grandma. Ye Wei assured her. Old Mrsmo is also very satisfied with her granddaughter-in-law. She pulled Ye Wei close to her and quietly taught some skills. Ye Wei suddenly understood after hearing this. When Yezikin came back, he was not in a hurry to find Ye Wei. When he hadn't seen Ye Wei at home for a long time, old Mrsmo told him, she has left. Yezikin didn't believe it. But Mrsmo drank a cup of tea calmly. I asked her to leave. Why do you? This is the Mo family. Since you don't like her, I find her annoying. I do not believe. Believe it or not. Old Mrsmo didn't say a few words to him. She seemed to find it troublesome and left on her own. Yezikin saw the twins in the hall and casually asked them if they knew where Ye Wei was. The twins shook their heads together, I don't know. The second sister-in-law disappeared during the day. She seemed to be going somewhere. Where to? The twins said in unison, I don't know. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 813. Chapter 813. Yezikin's medicine was changed. Why did Ye Wei leave? Yezikin doesn't believe it no matter what. But he couldn't help but not believe it, because Ye Wei didn't answer his call. Yezikin suddenly felt an indescribable feeling in his heart. He felt that this feeling was really bad. The twins said coolly next to them, it's all because of you, the second brother, who refuses to pay attention to the second sister-in-law. Women can't bear to be left out. Maybe you are very sad now. Yezikin was already feeling anxious, and these words seemed to add fuel to the fire. Yezikin turned back and glared at them. The twins hugged each other and trembled. Amoru, you, second brother, it's your fault in the first place. Even if you glare at our second sister-in-law, you won't come back. Amoru Oaksu, yes, that's right, you made a mistake, and you have to apologize before my second sister-in-law will forgive you. Amoruyu's words were quite normal, but Amoruoxu's words made Yezikin find out the clues. Yezikin, a smart person, was angry just now because he heard that Ye Wei was gone. Now that he thinks about it, some people must be lying. Amoruyu held down her sister Amoruoxu's face to prevent her from revealing her secret. Yezikin walked straight out. When he was about to step out of the door, he found Ye Wei standing in front of the door. The two stood facing each other without taking a step forward. The twins quietly walked around behind Yezikin, laughing secretly. Until Ye Wei stretched out his hand to invite Yezikin and asked him, "Won't you hug me?" I never expected Ye Wei to be so proactive, and the twins were surprised. With 4 pairs of eyes witnessing it, Yezikin instantly hugged Ye Wei into his arms. "Where have you been?" when he asked, his voice was a little hoarse. Ye Yi skillfully hooked his neck and kissed his lips. "Find a way to make you happy." "I'm not happy." "Well, that's a pity. You are more cunning than before." "There is no other way, we have to keep pace with the times." Ye Wei smiled proudly, his sly eyes like a victorious fox. Actually, she did not leave, and she did not use her departure to prove that Yezikin cared about her. But old MRSMO told her, to capture a man's heart, you must capture his stomach. Old MRSMO also introduced her to a chef who was very good at cooking. Make a finished product. But when she was standing outside the door just now, she heard the conversation between Yezikin and the twins and understood what MRSMO was thinking. Indeed, if old MRSMO asked her to hide and force Yezikin to reveal her true feelings, she would definitely not agree. Fortunately, things are developing in a good direction. Time flies by, a week has passed, and Yezikin's treatment is coming to an end. Amoruo Shuang, who was sent out, also asked for forgiveness and returned to the Mo family to have a family reunion dinner. There are only 3 days left. Amoruo Shuang, who had just returned home, seemed to have restrained herself a lot and did not give Yezikin and Ye Yi the first priority. Probably because everyone knew that Yezikin and Ye Yi would leave in 3 days. Leaving aside what emotions the elders have towards them, the key point is that the twins expressed their reluctance to Ye Wei. Ye Zi went out with them for 2 days to play with peace of mind. No one knew that Amoruo Shuang, who harbored evil intentions, found the medicine that Yezikin needed to take for a month after receiving treatment, and added something into it. Kixi revealed, "I'm proposing. Propose when you get back. Eat meat when you propose marriage, and get a certificate when you eat meat." At the wedding, Nangang Luo will propose to Li Yulai. Guess whether Li Yulai will agree? End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 814. Chapter 814, Singles also have dignity, woof. After struggling for a long time, Ye Wei and Yezikin finally returned to their hometown. The long-lost heir. Idiot, the air is everywhere. I'm talking about the air in City S, can it be the same? Well, it's different. Ye Wei had to say something, and Yezikin agreed. Secretary Zhao who came to pick him up couldn't even look at it. The boss and his wife were too crooked, so it would be hard for him to do it as a single person, okay. Of course, this was Secretary Zhao's inner complaint, and he did not dare to say a word. Not only can't you express the sigh of a single person, but you have to praise the happiness of the boss and the boss's wife. After Ye Wei came back, he planned to repair it and then start going to work. He also had to think about Mr. Chiao who was far away abroad. I heard from Mr. Chiao that Chiao Yu had recently dated a girlfriend, became successful, knew that he was working seriously, and finally made some achievements in the company. Ye Wei was even happier than Chiao Yu's parents when he heard the news. If Chiao Yu can take over the Chiao family, then she can be relieved of the burden on her shoulders. The only secret joy in the night. Unexpectedly, I received an invitation from a music company the day after I returned to City S. The first second Yes Yang received the invitation, she couldn't react at all. What did she do? How did someone from the music company contact her? Ye Wei went to Yezikin with the invitation letter, hoping to see Yezikin's astonished expression as hers. Brother, I received an invitation letter from a music company. It's so strange. I've been away from City S for a few months, and I just came back and the invitation letter came. She muttered a lot. Yezikin listened quietly. When she spoke, she summed up the answer in one sentence: it's the music I gave them before. They really want to meet you and take advantage of this concert. There happened to be a concert recently, and those people wanted to take the opportunity to meet Ye Wei. Although part of it is due to Yezikin, her singing skills are the main reason. The only surprise in the night. But what's the use? I can't stand on the stage and sing like those singers. The beautiful singing voice cannot be conveyed on the stage and can only succumb to reality. Ye Wei has always thought so. Even though Yezikin encouraged her to pursue her dreams several times, she could only succumb to reality. Boom. Yezikin hit her on the head, for real this time. She immediately raised her head and glared at Yezikin. But I heard a voice from above my head: didn't I say that you just need to choose what you like? I will take care of the other responsibilities. He is willing to impose all the shackles on himself, so that the people he loves can pursue their dreams with confidence and boldness. Ye Wei realized that Yezikin was serious. On the day of the concert, Yezi was hesitant, but Yezikin found someone to dress her up from beginning to end. After completion, you will be a little fairy as beautiful as a flower. The concert lasted from 7:30 to 9:30 in the evening, and Yezikin took her to the venue at 6:30. Yezikin has VIP complimentary tickets, which are usually for 2 people. Ye Wei was a little uneasy before he went there, but after he went there he realized. Mom. There are judges in the front row. Beside them, are all the more famous music producers in S City. What's going on? She's not sitting in the audience. Sitting here, the night is always a little drifting. She tugged Yezikin's hand and found that Yezikin was playing with his mobile phone here. It's not about playing with the phone, it's about sending messages. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 815. Chapter 815 Proposal. 1. The sky is full of stars. Nangong Luo, who received the message, and Gongkin Li, who took a leave of absence from the police academy, were struggling with the balloon lanterns. Hurry up, there must be 999. Check all the street lamps carefully, not one of them is broken. Don't make any mistakes later. Be fast and check carefully. This is the venue where they found dozens of people from morning to night to decorate for a whole day, a proposal venue. Because of the accident last time, Nangong Luo and Gongkin Li took this proposal more seriously this time. Everything is ready, just waiting for Yezikin to bring Ye Wei over to propose marriage. Nangong Luo and Gongkin Li rubbed their hands together excitedly. What should I do? I'm so excited. I feel like I'm being proposed to. Gongkin Li said casually, but she didn't expect Nangong Luo to answer the question. Then I propose to you and let you experience the feeling of being proposed to. Gongkin Li glanced at him and folded her arms as if to guard against a thief, but pull him down. If you propose to me, I have to kick you out. Tisk, I don't know a good heart, but I am still happy to be free. Roll over, Papyro. The two of them were fighting and no one seemed to take it seriously. Gongkin Li carefully squatted by the river to check those things. Her curly hair naturally hung down, covering half of her face. Her profile is very moving under the light. Gongkin Li's throat tightened at the sight. Hurriedly divert your attention and do your own thing. The concert ended at 9:30, but she did not come to the concert today. At about 9 o'clock, Yezikin took her to meet the person in charge of the music company that sent the invitation. They talked for a long time, and when they parted, they all had smiles on their faces. Ye Wei held Yezikin's hand and left the concert very calmly. After leaving, she happily jumped on Yezikin. "Brother, I succeeded." The dry notes she handed in, as well as the 2 short sections of the live a cappella performance just now, were praised by the person in charge of the music company, who also extended an invitation to her. Of course it's not an invitation to go to another concert, but sincerely invite her to join. Yezikin just drew a line. She received the most sincere praise for her own abilities. This was a rare affirmation for Ye. She was very happy and was so excited that she couldn't speak. Yezikin, very happy. Ye Wei, yeah. Yezikin, so excited. Yeah, I was so excited that he didn't know what to say. Ye Wei asked her, "Do you want to be happier?" "Uh-huh." "Want to be more excited?" "Uh-huh." Yezikin raised his hand on top of her head, and then gently rubbed her head. "You are so stupid, you are so happy." "It's a very happy thing for me." How can she be unhappy when the things she really likes are finally revealed to the light of day after being hidden deep in her heart for many years? Yezikin took her hand and put her into the car. "Sit down and I'll take you somewhere." "Okay," she agreed without any precautions. The car drove towards the outside of the school. About half an hour later, the car finally stopped. Ye Wei is very unfamiliar with this place. Yezikin suddenly gave her a Bluetooth headset. "Put this on your ears." "Oh." She put it on obediently, and after connecting, Yezikin got out of the car. "Wait a moment, and get off when I ask you to get off." "Good." End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 816. Chapter 816 Proposal, 2, Only Ring. After Yezikin left, Ye Wei noticed that the trees next to the parking spot were lit up with little lights, as if the bright stars in the sky were blinking. "Get down." A warm male voice came from the earphones. Ye Wei followed the instructions and walked forward step by step after getting off the car. The lights on the roadside gradually brightened, and she followed these directions and arrived at a heart-shaped round platform. This is a river bank. Some small movements around you can basically be ignored. She couldn't see anyone. Although she knew Yezikin was beside her, she still felt a little strange in her heart. No matter what. No one. The next 3 words had no chance to be spoken, because she saw the dots of light gradually rising up around the river bank, like fireflies dancing gracefully in the grass around her. Have you seen 999 glowing balloons soaring upward together? That magnificent scene, the surroundings became brighter in an instant, as if the entire dark sky turned into sunlight because of her arrival. The grace of saving one's life should be pledged with one's own body. Yezikin's voice brought her eyes back. In her surprised eyes, Yezikin knelt down on one knee and said, "Beautiful girl, are you willing to fulfill your promise?" Her promise is the words I kept saying when I was a child: "You saved me, I will definitely marry you when I grow up." The screen seems to be disabled. Gong Qinli and Nangang Luo were crowded together. Gong Qinli kept cheering beside him, "Promise him, promise him." Nangang Luo rolled his eyes at her, "She can't hear you say that." Because Gong Qinli didn't shout loudly, but opened her mouth to cheer silently. Of course they couldn't bear to destroy such a beautiful scene. Yezikin unfolded his hands, and in his palm lay a box engraved with the letters "Only." He opened it in front of Ye Only, and a shining diamond ring shone under the starry sky. "This ring can only be customized once in a man's life. I give it to you, can you give it back to me?" Yezikin, a proud person, knelt down in front of her, but he was not so confident when it came to proposing. The last words were to sincerely ask her if she was willing to return Yezikin's only night to him. There were tears in his eyes, but Ye Wei smiled and said, "You saved me, I will definitely marry you when I grow up." Gong Qinli was so excited that she immediately stood up from the side of the tree. Nangong Luo quickly pulled her down with quick eyes and hands. "Don't move." Nangong Luo pressed her into his arms. Gong Qinli smelled the unique fragrance of a man and heard the strong heartbeat. Gong Qinli stayed quietly in Nangong Luo's arms, and the two of them witnessed Yezikin put the ring that could only be customized once in a lifetime into Ye Wei's hand. Gong Qinli grabbed Nangong Luo's arm and heard the sound of something falling somewhere. Gong Qinli turned around to pick it up and saw a small cube box. Under the light, she saw the letter only engraved on the box. Gong Qinli was confused. "Didn't Brother Chen give you the ring? Why do you still have one in your arms? Is it a spare one?" Gong Qinli turned the box around and asked herself, "Isn't there only one?" Just when she was curious to open it, Nangong Luo suddenly reached out and snatched the cube box back. "This is a box. If you don't want to see it, you won't see it." How stingy! Gong Qinli stood up to leave. "Hey, do you really want to see it?" End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 817. Chapter 817 After Proposal. Gong Qinli turned around and her eyes met Nangong Luo's. She didn't know why, she just wanted to avoid them. "I won't watch it anymore." She actually didn't dare to admit that what she was thinking at that moment was, she didn't dare to look at it. Terrible. I don't know why I would think that way. Even if she can't afford to offend him, she can still afford to hide. The proposal was successful, and Nangong Luo drove the other three people to Yezikin's apartment. It turned out that the apartment had also been decorated, with some beautiful things placed there, and a sumptuous dinner was prepared. Although they are all old acquaintances, Ye Wei, who was just proposed tonight, is still a little shy. She and Gong Qinli were sitting next to each other, and the two girls were whispering something. Nangong Luo liked to hold the wine bottle for some reason. He wanted to toast Yezikin, but he was concerned about Yezikin's physical condition, so he didn't let Yezikin share a drink with him. Gong Qinli felt that he was so pitiful, so she decided to show mercy and talk to him. "Baby Luo, how come you can't even find anyone to drink with you? You're so pitiful." Gong Qinli always gave him nicknames, but Nangong Luo didn't mind at all and directly stretched out his long arm to pull him over. The wine bottle was moved in front of Gong Qinli, and Nangong Luo ordered with a domineering voice, "Drink." Bang! Gong Qinli also slapped the table domineeringly, "I'll drink with you." When the two of them disagreed, they started drinking together. Ye Wei couldn't stop him with a few words, but Gong Qinli was more competitive than anyone else when she got up. Ye Wei shook his head helplessly. "Ah!" She was caught off guard and pulled over by Yezikin. Yezikin stretched out his hand to lift her chin and said meaningfully, "I can't drink." Ye Wei put her hands around his neck, raised her head and smiled at him. "What a coincidence, I can't either." Two drinkers have just begun to struggle, while two people who cannot drink do not know when to leave the table. Back in the room, Ye Wei found that his cup had turned into a pink color and was covered with rose petals. Yezikin frowned deeply when he saw this scene, as if he was seeing a disaster area. Ye Wei suppressed her laughter. Yezikin frowned and said seriously, "This girl Gong Qinli cannot be trusted." Ye Wei couldn't hold back her laughter and said, "Lu Li must be from Beidou. Gong Qinli is a half-hearted person, but Yezikin can trust her to take full responsibility." Seemingly seeing the doubts in Ye Wei's heart, Yezikin patiently explained, "She volunteered." Suddenly the point of laughter was very low, and Ye Wei felt that he was about to laugh out loud. "Are you laughing at me? Brother, why are you telling me jokes in such a serious tone?" I'm almost dying of joy. Yezikin pinched her left and right cheeks and applied a little force. I'll give you 5 seconds to reorganize your words. Ye Wei put his hands on his mouth and closed it tightly. The lights in the room have also been changed. If you stare at the person in front of you, you will feel confused for a while. In short, it adds a bit of beauty. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 818. Chapter 818, Happy Enemies. From now on, you no longer have to suppress your feelings. His fingers carefully stroked her eyebrows. Her delicate eyebrows were picturesque, and her sparkling eyes were full of deep affection that she couldn't hide. The white fingers stopped on her red cheeks and pinched the deep dimples. She obviously didn't drink, but she felt like she was drunk from 1,000 drinks. Originally it was the only active thing that Ye did, but after a while it became a passive one. Can you? Cannot. I don't know what she originally planned to say, but the remaining words disappeared into the air. The warm lights in the room add a bit of warmth. In the living room, Gongkin Li, who was talking about defeating the enemy, was already drunk in Nangong Luo's arms. Papiro, you have such a drinking capacity. Gongkin Li stretched out her finger and shook it reluctantly at him, and said firmly, no. The last thing a man can hear is when a woman says that he is not good enough. Nangong Luo's temper grew and he clamped down on Gongkin Li with both hands, forcing her to change her words. Lu Li, you say I can't do it? Gongkin Li learned martial arts in the police academy. She overpowered Nangong Luo with just one lift of her back foot. Both of them fought in the living room with their own body skills. It can almost be described with the word chaos. You apologize to me and take back what you just said, and I'll let you go. Nangong Luo couldn't be fierce with his baby face, and his voice wasn't harsh enough. Gongkin Li smiled proudly, bah. Let me tell you the truth. Who is afraid of you? The two were fighting in the living room, neither of them admitting defeat. Nangong Luo's feet pressed down on Gongkin Li's feet, and Gongkin Li's fist touched Nangong Luo's chin. Nangong Luo threatened her, don't let me go. Gongkin Li stared at him without fear, let go first. You first. I don't. Without a disagreement, the two started punching and kicking again. She didn't really attack Nangong Luo. When they were tired from fighting on the ground, they spread their hands and turned left and right, in perfect synchronicity. This kind of tacit understanding requires little practice. How many people can be so lucky to meet someone who has a tacit understanding with them? Whether it's the intense affection in the room or the fists and kicks on the floor, by the time they really wake up, it's already been a long time. Gongkin Li felt that her arms could not move freely. She raised her hands as if they were controlled by something. Gongkin Li opened her eyes in displeasure and saw an arm that did not belong to her pressing on her arm. Nangong Luo, get out of here. A violent circle hit Nangong Luo's arm, and Nangong Luo woke up because he felt pain. Nangong Luo, who was very angry when he got up, exploded at that moment, what are you doing? You dare to take advantage of me, you bastard. Seeing Gongkin Li protecting herself with both hands, she was staring at him like she was guarding against a wolf. Nangong Luo curled his lips, I didn't mean it. It seems you are getting along well. I don't know when Yezikin walked to the living room and looked down at the two people sitting on the floor arguing. It feels like an elder is watching two juniors having fun. Nangong Luo and Gongkin Li were silent at the same time, stood up at the same time, and shouted in unison, Good morning, Brother Chen. Gongkin Li made a face at Nangong Luo. Yezikin walked around them. Get ready and go to the Civil Affairs Bureau. Gongkin Li? Nangong Luo? Kixi, Brother Chen is a very responsible person. Serious people. Compared to Brother Chen, Luo Dian is really pitiful. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 819. Chapter 819. The Civil Affairs Bureau received a red book. Did you hear that right? Yezikin said he was going to the Civil Affairs Bureau, and now he is going to the Civil Affairs Bureau. What does the Civil Affairs Bureau do? Boss, are you going to get the red book? Yezikin turned around and gave him a look that said, I'll figure it out for myself. How about that? Nangong Luo slapped his thigh. That's so exciting. Gong Qinli also belatedly said, last night, she pointed her fingers and winked at Yezikin. Nangong Luo pulled her hand down, remained silent and shook his head at her. There is no need to ask about boudoir fun. What's more, Yezikin is so boring. They were still a little dazed at first, but it was obvious that Yezikin put on formal clothes after washing up, and anyone who saw her carefully dressed up appearance would be a little moved. Such a man is so outstanding, okay. Nangong Luo squinted at Gong Qinli's expression, but unexpectedly Gong Qinli was also squinting at him. The two people's glances collided, and they seemed to have touched a minefield. Yezikin returned to the bedroom, and Yi almost woke up slowly. At first glance, Yezikin is neatly dressed, and then he looks at himself naked under the quilt. She pushed back the quilt and hid her whole body under the quilt. Come out. Shakes his head and does not come out. Come out. No. Hibernating to refuse, he shook his head. Yezikin finally lifted the quilt for her. Of course, knowing that she was shy easily, he just exposed her head. Ye Weiwei glanced at him and felt that this man was here to settle a score with her. She started to admit her mistake before she said anything. Brother, I was wrong. She remembered that she was so animalistic that she knocked someone down last night. Yezikin lifted her chin and kissed the corner of her mouth. It's okay if you're wrong. Just know how to take responsibility. Wear a nightgown for Ye Weiwei and carry her directly into the bathroom. Then, Nangong Luo and Gong Qinli, the melon eaters outside, witnessed Yezikin's daily life of doting on his wife. Hook him to wash his face and brush his teeth, and even do his hair himself. The second half of the sentence was guessed by Gong Qinli because they didn't dare to peek in the room. In short, people who see them getting along can be said to be very envious, extremely envious, extremely envious, envious. I'm jealous. Nangong Luo took the opportunity to express his opinion, I can be more doting on my wife in the future. Who would have known that Gong Qinli would encourage her with such straightforward words? Well, come on, brother. Nangong Luo. You can't even see the explicit hints. Girl, are you kidding me? Nangong Luo shook his head helplessly. What kind of mistake did he make to like this brainless woman? Happily received the marriage certificate, Ye Weiwei took a photo of the red book and sent it to his QQ space. She didn't add many people, but there were quite a few people who added her. A few minutes after it was sent out, the bottom of Yes Only red notebook was filled with Zoo 99. But occasionally someone would say something strange, saying something like robbing the goddess, but no one took it to heart. Shen Nianan wished her a happy wedding on behalf of herself and Meng Ziyi. The group of people in the dormitory had a falling out in the four-person dormitory group, clamoring for red envelopes, but mostly discussing what kind of wedding gift to give her. In addition to these, the busy man Han Xingyi also took the time to record a guitar song for her, which is like a dream wedding. Ye Ziwei selfishly saved the music and forwarded it to Xiaoziun. There was also Su Yuchen, whom she had not seen for a long time, who also sent her a blessing, happy wedding. The weirdest thing is Yuan Ran. She sent a short private message, and like the others, she cherished words, where's the wedding? Brother Chen, is your speed okay? Do you want to see An Ran and Beiye first or Nangong and Li Yulai? End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 820. Chapter 820. If you never forget it, there will be repercussions. Yuan Ran is a person who is used to lowering her sense of presence. Ye Wei had a thought and called her. En Ran, good afternoon. Good. En Ran, you are really getting more and more aloof. Yuan Ran asked without joking, aloof? Is it appropriate to describe me? Ye Wei, I couldn't laugh or cry. I thought you would answer me with the word hum. Oh. Look, before I have even said 2 sentences, I start to cherish words like gold. Miss, my wife has arranged for you to meet Mr. Chin at the Blue Mountain restaurant at 7:30 p.m. Because Yuan Ran was talking to Ye Wei with earphones and stroking the cat lying on the sofa, the housekeeper didn't know she was on the phone. So the housekeeper's words also reached Ye Wei's ears through the mobile phone. Ye Wei hesitated for a moment and asked tentatively, En Ran, are you going to see Mr. Chin from the world? It must be a blind date arranged by my mother. Blind date? En Ran, you are going on a blind date? Well, it's the 5th one. Yuan Ran reported the number ready, as if doing this kind of thing was like completing a task. Ye Wei, I couldn't understand. It's impossible, you are only 24 years old now, why do you want to go on a blind date? Even if MRSU feels that her daughter needs a boyfriend, she doesn't have to be so diligent in getting her 24-year-old daughter on a blind date, right? Yuan Ran was silent for a while. You're already married at the age of 23, aren't you? But it's different should you forget that person. Yuan Ran's answer to her was a rhetorical question, who are you talking about? Yuan Ran is pretending to be stupid. When she met Yuan Ran a while ago, she clearly saw the necklace that once belonged to Kitano around her neck. Such a love that has been embedded in time, and I don't even want to take off the necklace. It's clear that I can't bear to forget the past. En Ran, would you like to meet me? Okay. Every time I talk to Yuan Ran, I can feel a sense of peace and tranquility, as long as I don't mention that person. It's not that she insists on holding on to Beiye, or that she deliberately brings up the past that made Yuan Ran heartbroken, she just doesn't want her friend to go against her true heart. Even if you want to forget Kitano, don't force yourself. Otherwise it will only be suffering. Yezikin hugged her waist from behind. What are you thinking about? It's Enron. Hearing this name, Yezikin's eyes deepened a little, but Ye Wei, I didn't see it. Yezikin followed her words and asked, I remember that friend of yours. Why, did she make you unhappy? No, I think she is too distressing. Oh. You know, she once had a boyfriend named Beiye, and you saved him. Well, remember. It's been so many years, Beiye has never appeared, but Enran has never forgotten it. I can't believe whether Beiye is still alive and what has become. But I know Enran can't let go. She accidentally mentioned that MRSU forced Yuan Ran to go on a blind date. Yezikin told her, it seems that something has happened to the Yu family's assets recently. You mean MRSU wants to sell her daughter? Relying on your daughter to win over others and then turn around your own company's situation is a common phenomenon among business families. Yezikin shook his head, I'm not sure. Those are not Enran's good people at all. When the time is right, the people who should appear will naturally appear. Yezikin's words had a profound meaning. End of this chapter.